Okay, so we're going to move on from this Trump having to testify under oath thing, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. And even if he does have to testify, he'll probably just plead the fifth. But Donald Trump was heavily triggered by the decision made by a judge just as the weekend was starting, that in the civil investigation into Donald Trump's organization, Trump, Don Jr., and Ivanka have to testify under oath, and they should do so within the next 3 weeks. Trump's lawyers may appeal it. We still don't know what's going to happen. Donald Trump lost his mind over this. And this to me reads like a sign of major, major panic. Statement by Donald Trump. And this is a mouthful. Okay, I'm going to try to deliver it to you as written. Here we go. So crooked Hillary Clinton, one of the most corrupt politicians ever to run for president, can break into the White House, my apartment, buildings I own, and my campaign. In other words, she can spy on a presidential candidate and ultimately the president of the United States. And the now totally discredited fake news media does everything they can not to talk about it. That's one sentence riddled with about 4 different lies. Hillary didn't break into the White House, didn't break into Trump's apartment, didn't break into Trump's buildings, and didn't break into his campaign. All of this surging from a mischaracterization of a report from John Durham using the term infiltrated when Durham didn't actually use the term. So this is all lies, and this is the setup. And now Trump goes on to the decision made about his testimony. Quote, on the other hand, failed gubernatorial candidate Letitia James can run for the office of AG on saying absolutely horrendous and false things about Donald Trump, a man she doesn't know and has never met, go on to get elected, and then selectively prosecute him and his family. After viewing millions of pages of documents over many years, they come up with a fringe benefits case on a car, an apartment, and on grandchildren's education. Now, remember, that is not the only issue at play in that investigation. A major issue at play is the misstatement of the value of assets like buildings, a really, really big deal. But also, yes, Trump seems to be admitting that people who worked for him did not pay taxes on fringe benefits. And that's, you can't do that. That's not allowed. Okay, continuing. She is doing everything within their corrupt discretion to interfere with my business relationships and with the political process. With the rest of the case, even Cy Vance, who just left the DA's office without prosecuting anything additional because there isn't anything additional to prosecute, there is no case. The targeting of these are just sentence fragments strung together in a febrile screed. The targeting of a president of the United States who got more votes while in office than any president in capital H history by far, and is a person that the capital R radical left Democrats don't want to run again, represents an unconstitutional attack on our capital C country, and the people will not allow this travesty of justice to happen. What people? What are you talking about? It is a continuation of the greatest capital W witch hunt in history. And remember, I can't get a fair hearing in New York because of the hatred of me by capital J judges and the judiciary. It is not possible. Folks, this is full-blown panic. This is full-blown panic at this point in time. And this guy is absolutely losing it. Now, later in the show, we are going to get to the confirmation that, yes, Trump took classified documents to his house and would regularly flush them down his potty. It's been confirmed. OK, we're going to get to that after the break. But this guy is in such an escalated situation emotionally because of what's going on that he's liable to do things we can't even imagine over the next few weeks. This guy will do everything he can to avoid being put under oath and having to answer questions, because he also knows. Yeah, I mean, listen, he'll plead the fifth if that's what it comes to. He will. And it'll be totally hypocritical given his previous comments that you plead the fifth if you're guilty, which, by the way, if you believe in due process, law and order, and the Constitution, your silence can't be used against you. But Trump he almost considers it axiomatic that if you plead the fifth, you're guilty, which is the opposite of what a guy who claims to be for law and order should be saying. If you claim to be for the Constitution, due process, and law and order, you'd be saying, no. Pleading the fifth is not evidence of guilt. Now, of course, colloquially, all of us can understand there are situations where if you have nothing to hide, you would just show up and answer questions. We can understand that. That's a colloquialism. That is a reality. But this guy is going to do everything he can to avoid being put in that situation to begin with. And we will be following it all the way down to the bottom. After the break, it is now confirmed. The National Archives has confirmed Trump took classified documents to his house. It's been turned over to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department is investigating. We'll take a quick break. Let me know your thoughts about this story. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/David Pakman Show.